Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with the class, and I want us to go first to one of the main resources that we have for this B2 first exam. Okay, first and foremost, have you taken a Cambridge exam before?
No.
No. What about you, Diana?
I don't know if it matters the ECC. I have the
Okay, you
ECC.
took the one from Sen, the one that they take at Sen.
Yes. I don't know
Oh,
if
okay.
it's
It's did you take the ECCE? I think that was for B1 or for B2. For B2, no?
I don't know. I just took it
Yeah,
because I
I
had
work at
forgotten.
Sen. I should know. I
Ah,
also work at Sen. Yes, I work at Sen on Saturdays. And I apologize for my voice. I'm kind of sick right now, but this is not my
don't
normal
worry.
voice. Yes, it's prettier. But yes, I normally work at Sen too on Saturdays. But the ECCE exam, if I'm not mistaken, it measures you up to a B2 level. Uh-huh. Yes. So if you were certified ECCE, then you had that B2 level. However, I have heard that in comparison with the Cambridge exams are a little bit more challenging than the
Mm,
ECCE exams. I have heard that. But independently of that, I do believe that when you take the Cambridge exams um, have a wide range of acceptance internationally speaking. So when you take a Cambridge exam, you're most likely to take you have a better chance, right, internationally taking a Cambridge exam. So, anyways, let me go ahead and introduce you to the one and only website where you can find all of the information that you need about Cambridge, and that is cambridgeenglish.org. And I want to do a run through every possible resource that you have available. You can find it there. And this is it. Like I said, this is cambridgeenglish.org. And when you go to this website, you have here different options, of course. But what we are going to go over is the exams and tests. Okay, Cambridge takes a bunch of different exams. The one that we are focusing about right now, it's the B2 first. Previously, they used to call it the FCE. Yeah, but now it's called B2 first. Now, it is very important that you know that we also have B2 first for schools. The B2 first for schools are usually taken for high school students or students in general when they are still in school levels. The reason why they have a specific for schools is because usually the context of the questions are around things that a teenager that are most likely for them to be in touch with. Yeah, basically. And the B2 first is more in general for life, okay, or work-based kind of situations. So this is why we're going to focus on B2 first. However, you're going to find a lot of resources, B2 first, B2 first for schools, because usually it's the same kind of questions. It's just different kind of themes, different kind of contexts in which those questions are being asked. Yeah, situations. Okay, so the B2 first, formerly known as Cambridge English First, FCE, is one of our Cambridge English qualification. It's the most popular. A lot of people want to be certified with a B2 level. And a B2 level, what is that? According to the Common European Framework Reference, okay, that is a level that people can speak independently. So I would like for you to watch this very short video about what is a B2 and what can you do at that level.
B2 First and B2 First for schools prove that students have the language skills they need to communicate in an English-speaking country. It's the next step in the journey after B1 preliminary for schools and is recognised by thousands of employers and universities around the world. At B2 First for Schools level, students will be able to follow a conversation, write emails, and talk about what people like to do on holiday.
Most people go on holiday in the summer because the weather is warm, and they usually do things they wouldn't do at home, like going on boat trips, visit famous sites, and eat local food.
Students will also learn how to express and justify their own views and opinions. Angela, do you think teenagers are too young to teach other people?
Yes, I think teenagers are too young to teach other people. I don't think they have the knowledge to teach unless they go to university.
B2 First gives students the confidence to prepare for higher level qualifications, such as C1 Advanced. At this level, students will have the knowledge and fluency to go to university or work in an English-speaking country. Cambridge English qualifications help students develop their English language skills step by step. They help learners prove their skills to the world and lay the foundations for their future success.
All right then. All right, guys. So that is what a B2 level is all about, okay? And I would also like for you to know what is this common European framework of reference is. And let me show you, I have a different one. It's very important that you know what that is. It's like basically like the Real Academia Española, but for English. Basically, it's kind of like that, yeah? So let me show you. Okay, so now you know what the common European framework of reference is. It's basically, like I said, like the Real Academia for Española, but for English, and they normally set the standards, okay, for the English speaking individual. All right, so that is what a B2 exam is looking forward to, okay? Those are the kind of things that we want at a B2 level. Now, what is the exam and how does it look? Okay. And that is something that we can look in the same website that I showed you earlier, the one for Cambridge. All of our resources are there. And knowledge is power. So if you know where to find information, then you have that much power at your fingertips to figure out everything that you need to know. So I want to empower you with that knowledge. I want to empower you with the information that you need to know in order to prepare yourself, because here, yes, we're going to work together, we're going to practice, etc. But if you want to go above and beyond, I want you to know that it is at your fingertips. Okay. Here, when you go to their website, again, it's cambridgeenglish.org, you go to exam and tests and you select B2 first. That's what we did earlier, right? Okay, now if you go to your left-hand side, here you have exam format, you see? You have preparation, you have exam dates, results. Okay, first we need to go to the exam format so that we get to know what is going to be in the exam and what can you expect, basically. Yeah, hold on 1 second. The exam is made up of 4 papers developed to test your English language skills. Do you remember what are those 4 different areas that we're going to be testing in B2?
Speaking,
Yeah.
use of English,
That's reading and use of English. Yeah.
writing,
Writing.
grammar,
And
creo. Listening, sí.
Listening.
there you go, Diana. Great, that's it. Yes, so those are the 4. The one that's the first section, the first paper is reading and use of English. So those 2 things are together in one paper. Yeah, the second paper is for writing, the third paper is for listening, and then the last one is for speaking. Yeah, so that is something that we need to remember. Yeah, if we didn't get to know what it is going to be about, this is it. As you saw in the video, the Cambridge exams, like the results, are always different because it depends on the people that are being tested, basically. Yeah. Reading and use of English is the first paper that you're going to see. In this paper, you're going to find 7 different parts, which makes a total of 52 questions. What can you expect in this section? You can expect to read different kinds of texts, maybe fiction, non-fiction, newspapers, magazines, different types of articles, yeah? And they're not only testing you on grammar and vocabulary, but also in use of English, yeah? So that's something to keep in mind. How much time do you have for this part of the exam? 1 hour and 15 minutes. How does the paper look? I wanna show you a sample paper. So that you can see what it looks like. You can easily download this. You can download it yourself if you want. If you're going along with me, you can download it yourself so that you can see a sample paper. Yes, these sample papers are going to have everything that you need for taking the sample test, and also the answers. Yeah, so you can check your answers as well. Yeah. So that is that. While I am waiting for it to download, I want you to also know that we have the other section, which is writing. You have 1 hour and 20 minutes for this writing exam, but you only have 2 parts. One of the exam that is compulsory, like you have to do it, it's an essay. One part, you have to write an essay. It's inevitable. You have to write one essay, and then the other one is a choice. You can choose from writing a letter, a report, a review, an article, an essay, etc. Yes, so those are the 2 things that the things that you are going to find in the writing part, in the writing exam. In the listening part, you only have 40 minutes for the listening. And it's a total of 4 parts with a total of 30 questions. Okay. What is this going to be? What is this going to be? You're going to be listening to different situations. It can be one audio, or you can have various short audios that you have to listen and answer correctly. Yeah. In the speaking section, it's about anywhere between 14 and 20 minutes. It depends of your partners. It's a total of 4 parts. Okay. And in here, you really have to show off your English. Yeah. You're going to end up using phrasal verbs, idiomatic expressions, things of that sort in order to really, really show it off. Yeah. Now, again, reading and use of English, 7 parts, about 52 questions. The writing, 2 parts. Listening, 4 parts, about 30 questions. And the speaking is 4 parts. Okay. So that's something that you can expect in an exam, those four parts. Now, when you take the exam, chances are that you're going to be tested for speaking one different day than the other skills. Usually centers have you tested on speaking one day and then the next day the other skills, or vice versa. The point is that you are not going to do all of the tests the same day. It's rare that that happens, but it's a long time for test taking. Yeah. So it gets very tiresome. Okay. So, and if you go down, down here in this same page, you can take a look at more detailed for each of the sections. Here you have reading, the next one, which is writing, listening, and speaking. If you click on each of these sections, it's going to give you more detail about that specific paper. Yeah, so it's very important that you know this, so that when you want information, you can just click here. One important thing that you have to know about this B2 test is that in the reading and use of English paper, you are combining two skills, I guess, reading and use of English. So for the most part, parts 1 through 4, you're going to have a different kind of range of text in which you're going to do grammar and vocabulary related tasks. Okay. But for part 5, 6, and 7, you need to read a series of texts. It's more reading based. Yeah. And you will have to answer those questions according to your reading ability. Yeah. So definitely, for the most part, 1 through 4 is use of English, vocabulary and grammar, and then 5, 6, and 7, more like reading stuff. Yeah. It is important to know that the reading section is 40% of your grade. Whoa. So it's very important that you do well in this part of the test. Yeah. If you practice your grammar, vocabulary, stuff like that, it's totally doable. Yes. So 40% of this exam, you have to guarantee it. Yeah. And again, all of the reading parts that you're going to have in this section of the test are going to come from different places: newspapers, magazines, journals, books, different kinds of texts. And you have to be ready to be able to understand either one of them. Yeah. So before we go any farther, I want to test your knowledge. How much you can remember about B2, because it is important that we practice. It is important that we practice knowing what we're going to be facing. The more knowledgeable you are about information on the test, the best suited you're going to be for whatever question comes your way. Yeah, so it's very important that you know what to expect. Yeah. So let me show you. Let me give you a link, and it's just going to be basically on the structure of the test that I want you to know. Okay, so let me give you the link. Okay. You can use your devices if you want. If you want to do that, you can scan the QR code or whatever it is that you need to do. Yes, Diana, if you cannot do it, that's okay. That's all right. If you can do it on your device, that's okay. If you cannot do it right now, that's fine. Just try, yeah? Try to do it if you can. We're gonna do it in this moment, but hopefully you're able to do it now. Okay, so you can please join. You can scan the QR code, or you can go to the link that I sent you in the chat, whichever one works. Diana, do you think you can do it or no? If not, I'm just going to start the game. Okay, I'll go ahead. Okay. And of course, we are going to review the answers as well, so don't worry. Of course, your first place, Jonathan. And you're laughing. Of course, your first place. Okay, well, just for the sake of reviewing the answers, okay, we know that B2 first demonstrates language proficiency at level B2 of the Common European Framework of Reference. We talked about that, so that's true. The different papers that one exam consists of is a total of 4 different areas. We talked about that as well. Remember, it's reading and use of English, writing, listening, and speaking. How many parts are there in the reading and use of English paper? There are seven different parts, okay, and a total of 52 questions. How many parts are there in the writing paper? 2. One of them you have to write an essay, and the other one is an option. You can choose if you want to write an article, review, a letter. I think the other option is a report. Yes. Which of the following is a compulsory on the writing paper? It's one essay. That's the one that you said that you have to write it. How many parts are there in the speaking paper? 4. 4 different parts. How many parts are there in the listening paper? 4 as well. How many times do you get to hear the fragments on the listening paper? Actually, you'll be surprised. You get twice, 2 times, but no more than twice. You can listen 2 times. Yes, so don't worry. So I'm glad that, Jonathan, now that you said only once, no, yes, you have 2 times. It's better, no? So that way you listen to it one more time. On the speaking paper, what is the long term? The long term is that you have to speak on your own for 1 minute. Yes, until the examiner tells you thank you. That thank you means shut up. You need to stop. Stop speaking now. Yeah, but that's what you want from the speaker. Better for the speaker to tell you shh, than for you not to speak enough. Yeah. The level of the FCE exam is B2. And remember also that the new name is B2 first, not FCE. Yeah. The most important criteria in determining if you've passed your exam is language, content, communication, and organization. All of them are important, equally important. How many questions are there in the listening paper? 30. The listening paper, you will hear a variety of styles, voices, and accents. True. You're not only going to hear American. Most likely, you're going to use different kinds of accents from different places around the world that speak English. So it's very important that you get accustomed, your ear gets accustomed to hearing different accents. Yeah? How many times will you hear the recordings? 2 times. The listening paper, there is 1 mark for every correct answer. True for the most part. In the listening section, yes. In the reading section, in the reading and use of English section, there is 1 section that you have double the points. And I will tell you what that one is. I believe it's part 4, if I'm not mistaken. And that is it. So I would like for you to take a look at, let me stop here. I would like for you to see what let me see 1 second. I would like for you to see what a sample paper is, how it looks like, what you can expect, okay? So let me show you what a reading paper looks like. So that way you can take a look at it, you can see what's coming, what it looks like, most of it, yes. Let me, reading. Sample paper. Hold on. Okay, give me 1 second. I can find this thing. Okay, finally I got it. Here it is. Okay, this is what a sample paper will look like. This is what a reading exam will look like. Yes, of course, this is paper-based. Normally, you can also look at the version online, and I'm going to give you a link for that one, because I also would like for you to take a look at that one and you can practice it. Yes, you will get the instructions, and of course, you have the information for candidates, the 52 questions on this paper. This is part 1. You will have to read the first part, you see. You have the different gaps. Okay. And then, of course, you have your options, your answers. Then you have part 2, in which you are going to be very similar. But in here, you don't have options. You have to write. You have to write the options to fill in the gaps. You have an answer sheet for those. Then you have part 3, in which you are going to have word formation. You're going to transform this word into a new one that will fit in this space. Yeah, we will talk about those. Then you have part 4, which each one of them is worth 2 points. Okay, here you can use 2 to 5 words that are going to replace the, no, I'm sorry, you have to use this word in here in order to complete the idea without changing the meaning of this previous sentence. This one, a lot of candidates find it very challenging, but it's definitely not impossible. Yes. Then we have part 4, which is keyword transformation. Well, the one we saw on part 4 is keyword transformation. Here we have part 5. Remember, here we have the reading. You have to read. And then you're going to be asked different questions, multiple choice, reading comprehension questions. It tells you exactly in which line sometimes. Some of the questions are related to context. Then we have part 6, which is another piece of writing. But in here you have to complete, okay? You have to put in some sentences in these spaces. You decide which sentence you're going to complete this text with, and you have these paragraphs. You're going to put these paragraphs in each one of those gaps. You're going to have more than what you need, so you're going to have some left over. And here's the last part, part 7. In which paragraphs did you find this question? Here we have the paragraph, rising star. We have A, B, C, D. Yes, and then you will have to see which one goes according to those questions. And that is it. That is the reading and use of English exam. We're going to look into every single part in order to practice. Yes, in order to practice and get familiar with the kind of questions we have on the exam. The very first one that we're going to look into today is the part 1. It's probably one of the easiest one in the easiest one is in the exam. It's basically you read and then you have options, you fill in the gaps. For this kind of question, what knowledge do you need to have? And for that, we can go straight to the same website that I showed you earlier. And this is the reason why I like to empower you with this information, because it's not just me showing you what you need to do, is you also knowing what is expected of you. So remember I was showing you each part of the exam from the website? Well, let me show you this part that tells you exactly what kind of knowledge you need in order to be able to be successful at each of these parts. So, keeping this in mind, let's look at this. Remember I was showing you, and again, this is in cambridgeenglish.org, exams and tests, B2 first, and then you go down into the reading section. Remember, we are down in the reading section. Right here. We went down to the reading section, and now we're here in part 1. What is in part 1? You have a text with some multiple choice questions. We already saw them. Yeah. Each question has 4 options, A, B, C, or D. And then you have to decide which one is the correct one. That's it. What do I need to practice? What do I have to practice, right? You need to create. You need to have vocabulary, you need to know idioms, you need to know collocations, shades of meaning, phrasal verbs, fixed phrases, all that good stuff. Okay, so if I want to do well in part 1, then I need to practice these things. Yes? So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, we're going to practice some vocabulary, some idioms, collocations, shades of meaning, phrasal verbs, etc., 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 so we can do well in part 1. Now, chances are you already know some of these. Chances are maybe some of these are new. That's okay. We need to practice. Yeah. So that is for part 1. I want to also tell you that if you are not part of wait 1 second. If you are not part of the aula virtual, we need to become part of the aula virtual. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if you're not part of the aula virtual, I highly, highly recommend you to be part of it. And I'm going to show you why. I have uploaded a few resources there that can help you with this specifically, with the use of vocabulary, with also with I have even uploaded a book for vocabulary in use, grammar and vocabulary in use. So it's really good stuff that is going to be helpful, and that again is at your fingertips. Yes, I've thought of everything that could help you succeed here, and especially in your case, Jonathan, I am very excited because you can even get I'm sure you can get a higher than a B2 level. Yeah, if you really set your mind to doing that, I'm sure you're capable of doing that. So it's just a matter of preparing yourself. You have very good vocabulary knowledge, so it's very doable for you. Yeah. So here, if you go to the aula virtual, you go to cursos, you go, of course, you're in B2 first. Yeah. You go to archivos. And here you have a bunch of stuff. And let me show you what you have there. In Cambridge B2 first, you have English vocabulary in use, this folder. And this has the book. In this book, you're going to find tons of information. I don't think it's opening. Wait, maybe it's taking a long time. But yeah, it's just taking a long time. But if and when you can check, okay, it's a book that has information on grammar, okay. Here also we have the exam booster. It's not opening. I don't know what's going on, but I uploaded it. It should be there. Okay, maybe it's just my internet, or I don't know why it's not opening right now, but please check the archivos section, because in there I have uploaded a bunch of stuff, even the exam booster book, which is the one that we're going to use here to practice.
Sí me sale, Miss.
Sí te sale, yeah, it's
Sí.
because I don't know why it's just not showing it to me. Yeah, I don't know. Thank God you're here and that you said. Yeah, it's here. It's downloading, it's cargando, whatever. Ah, mira, aquí está. Por fin salió. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes, wonderful. So look at this wonderfulness here. And I think it's a good resource because it's going to show you vocabulary, like literally the way people use it to communicate. It's a little advanced. And look, here you are also you can also practice vocabulary about different kinds of, like, they're sectioned by topic, like work and study, people and relationships, the environment, travel, society and institutions, etc., etc. Not only that, but there are also a section about grammar and fixations and collocations, which is exactly what you need to know in order to be successful in this section. Look, we have, well, prefixes and suffixes, that's for part 3 and 4, for the word transformation and keyword transformations. Yes, word building and word blending, this is good for those, for example. Here we have collocations, which you can practice. Yes. Here we also have phrasal verbs. I believe I had some phrasal verbs up here, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, well, the point is that there is definitely some information here for you that you can definitely practice, and it's there at your fingertips, like I said. Okay. So that's that. There is that one resource, which I think it's wonderful. Here we have also the exam booster. In the exam booster is basically a book that we normally use to prepare people for the exams. It has I like the exam booster because it kind of warms you up and builds you up to the exam exercise. So basically, if you needed to learn vocabulary about the environment, first we do activities with that kind of vocabulary, and we learn that vocabulary before moving forward to an actual activity or exercise using that vocabulary. Yes, so I think it's very useful because it can help you maybe revisiting vocabulary that you had forgotten about, or maybe learning it at that moment, and so that you can use it for your future, and chances are that you are going to have the exact same vocabulary in the exam or some kind of similar question, so it's going to be helpful. Yeah. So the exam booster is usually separated by sections, the reading parts, or part 1, part 2. Can you see the book?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. This is
Yes.
the exam booster. Yes, I have uploaded the one without an answer key on purpose. Because of course I'm not gonna give you the answers. I want you to practice, right? I do have the answers though. This is something you could easily download online, but maybe I'll be nice and I'll upload the one with answers. Yeah, fine, I'll do it. Because it's also useful to look at the answers, right, and check yourself. So I understand that. So maybe I'll upload the answers. I'll be nice. And in here, the contents, for example, you can see you can practice by part. You see, reading and use of English part 1, reading and use of English part 2, and each section has more than one option. Yes, more than one option. For example, in here it has first reading and use of English part 1, 1. So this is the practice 1 from part 1 of the reading and use of English paper. This is number 2 practice of the reading and use of English part 1. And we have a third one, a third practice of the reading and use of English part 1. Yes? And now we're going to go to part 2. And the same thing happens there. You're going to have practice 1, one topic, and then the exercises, and then more exercises similar. And then we'll have another one with a different topic. And then you're building up vocabulary. So this is really helpful. This is where I'm going to get most of our practices from. And I have uploaded the book just so that you can refer to it when I am doing an activity. I'm always going to present it in class, but you can have it there just in case you need to refer to it. Or maybe for activities that we're going to do on Fridays. Well, tomorrow we don't have class and I'm not going to send an activity because it's a holiday. But next Friday, I will be sending an asynchronous activity. And I could easily say, okay, go to Exam Booster in your archivos and go to page 14. We will check the answers next class. Something of that sort. This will be an asynchronous activity and we will just check the answers, come with questions about it. That's what asynchronous activities are going to be about. Yeah. So that's that in the exam booster. Okay, so that's the other big resource that you have there. Again, at your fingertips. What other things I have here? There. Yeah, I have uploaded a phrasal verb list. This is my own product, I would say. I have come up with this list once I came across this list, and I kept it since. This is not like, oh no, this is, wait. No, this is not the one. This is the phrasal verbs list. Okay, some people call it two-part action words or phrasal verbs. Yeah, these phrasal verbs are usually a verb plus usually the verb plus a preposition. Yes, and together it becomes a phrasal verb that has different meaning depending on the context. And here we have some of the most used ones with the meaning and with an example. There are a lot of them here. Do you need to learn them? No, I don't advise you learning them, but you have a pretty good size list that can not only tell you the meaning, but also like give you an example using it, which I think is useful and very much illustrative because it gives you an example on how you could use it, especially those that you have to use that you break them apart and don't break them apart. So that's it that was a practice that we did back in the 1st of May. And you can always go and do those activities that we have done before. We have, what else do I have? Well, the class recordings are in announcements. In anuncios, you will find the class recordings, okay? In anuncios, I will be uploading like the link for the class recordings. So you can check them on anuncios. Where it says anuncios, you're going to see here class recordings in YouTube. For example, all of the classes that we had previously are all here. So even if you wanted to go back and look at any of the recordings, they are here. Here, everyone, they're here by date and with the link for the class recording. Yeah. So that's basically what I have for you as far as resources goes. And I will continue to upload the class recordings to my YouTube channel. And then I will share the link here on the Aula Virtual, so that way you can access it whenever you have the chance to do it. So even if you're not here in class, you can still benefit from getting the information and practicing, because in the end, that's the purpose of the course, right? For you to get prepared and practice for the B2 exam. Yeah. Of course, I would love to have you here. Don't get me wrong. But if you absolutely can't, it's not like you're losing on a lesson. You know, you can always go back and watch the recording. Yeah. Okay. So all of that information is there. We have all these resources. I have one more resource. One of the things that for part 1 that you need to build on is vocabulary. Vocabulary is big. It's big for B2, and also not only is it big, but you need to start building your own vocabulary list. Yes, for B1 and for other inferior tests, normally you get a list of vocabulary list that you have to know for B1, for B2, for either one. But in here, and I'm going to show you one more resource that is really, really helpful. I know I have said it before, and it's already uploaded in the tareas section of the Aula Virtual. In the Aula Virtual, in the tareas section, in the tasks, you will find the words list and you will find the link for this. But it's dictionary.cambridge.org. And why am I mentioning this? Well, because this is a very useful tool that you can easily have in your computer or in your cell phone. And when you go here, you can open it with a Gmail account. Yeah. On the top part, that's what I have done. That's why I have my name here, because I already created an account. And when I go to dictionary.cambridge.org, automatically it logs me in. And now if I look at a word, for example, let's say, I don't know, luggage. Okay, and I don't know the meaning of that word. I look it up. Okay, luggage, Okay, it tells me. And it gives me the option to add the word to my list. I can create my own list. Yes, okay. So I'm going to add the words to my list, and then it asks me, oh, do you want to create a new list, or do you want to add it to the one that you already have? In my case, I already have created a B2 first list. So I just click on my list and then I upload it there. That is so powerful. Again, I can create my own list of the words that I have looked up that obviously I didn't know the meaning before. And then get this. This is even better. You go up here with the plus, you see? you can create like your little game, your own little game with all the words that you didn't know that you had to look up and that you added to your list, to your word list. You can create yourself a game. Yes. For example, here, word scramble. A daily word game. You can beat the clock by scrambling the letters to spell the word. How to play, it tells you how to play. Not hard or firm. What would it be?
Soft.
Okay, then you say, wait, ah, I lost. Bueno, it's soft. You got it. You had it. A small solid piece of medicine. It's a tablet.
Tablet.
Woo! To record, take a picture of something using a camera.
Recording? No.
Mm,
Recapture?
capture.
Capture.
Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you can play games like this and practice vocabulary. You see how fun it is. You can't stop. You can do it in your phone. Yeah, basic stuff. Yeah, so that's a Scrabble. You can also go to your word list, go to grammar quizzes, go and make image quizzes, go to my words list. Or I can go and look at other words lists that have been created by other people or maybe have already been done according to different topics. For example, I can look at words for describing things that is advanced, for example, and then I can play with these words, for example. I can do a gap fill, I can do a multiple choice, or I can do an audio. Let's do a multiple choice one so that I can show you. What does inferior mean? Extremely hard and unpleasant, unable to do anything to help yourself or anyone else, not good, or not as good as someone or something else. What do you think inferior means?
Unable to do anything to help yourself or anyone else?
Inferior? Actually, no. Inferior means not good or not as good as someone else or something else. It's the same in Spanish, right? I feel like I'm less than others around me. Then I feel inferior, right? It sounds like in Spanish, yes? Another one, tedious. Tedious mean calm and peaceful and without noise, violence, worry. No. Tedious means boring and having hope. Tedious means that it requires a lot of work. Tedious means like something that requires a lot of attention, a lot of work. Yeah. A state of the art. What does a state of the art mean?
Very modern using most of the recent idea methods.
Thank you. Excellent. What does tranquil mean?
Peaceful without noise.
Okay, and so on and so forth. So look at this. We can practice vocabulary and we can go easy on ourselves or we can go hard and actually, learn new words if we come across some different ones or difficult ones. We can easily play this little game easy with like the level that we need, if it's a beginner, if it's intermediate, or we can play with quiz with images also. It really depends on what we want to do, but it is another very, very good tool to have here to create our list, to play with other word lists that we have here available in cambridgedictionary.org. Okay? So there we have all these different resources that we can practice with. So now I want us to practice some of the part one. Remember part one of the exam looks something like this. We have already done this activity before, but I want you to see it again so that you know what type of questions we're going to be looking at right now. Yeah, normally for part one, you're going to have one big long text, okay? And then you have all the answers. And you have to select which one is the correct answer for each, according to the text, according to what it says, etc. Yeah? So that is what part one means in reading and use of English. But since I want to make it a little bit more interactive, I have uploaded, I want you to do a quizzes that basically going to be something similar to this, but hold on. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Reading. Give me 1 second, I can find this. Okay, here we go. Eh, okay, we have already done the one that I showed you before, the genealogy, and we had it in class, I remember. So you had already done that one. So I want you to do a different one. It's the same part. This part one, from the reading and use of English exercise. So what we're going to do right now is look at this, read the first as a strategy. What I want you to do is read first. Let me show you the strategy that you want to keep in mind first. The strategy number one. Hold on 1 second. Where's okay? Strategy number one. Learning new vocabulary. Students and teachers often think grammar is more difficult than vocabulary, but our knowledge of vocabulary is actually very complex. When we say we know a word, we really know many different things about it. Here's an example of using a word which you probably think is very easy and familiar. Head. The forms of this word, spoken form, just one syllable, phonetic transcription. Okay, well, there's many aspects of knowing one word, right? The meanings of this word head has many meanings. The physical part of an animal's body, the person who leads a team, like the head of a company. The part of bed where I rest my head, the head of the bed. And the different usage of that one word. So you have to pay attention to vocabulary, which we already talked about how important vocabulary is. So knowing enough vocabulary is your first strategy. Your second strategy is definitely how to approach this question. The first thing that you need to do is read the title so you kind of know what the complete text is going to be about. Then you have to read the whole text in about 2 to 3 minutes just to get a glance to see what the text is going to be about. Yes? After doing that, look at each gap, look at what comes after or before it. Usually, even if you don't know the meaning of the words, their options, you can always kind of see if it fits, if it sounds right. Trust your gut feeling. Trust your gut feeling because most of the times you're going to end up guessing the missing word. And once you choose one, go with it and don't change it. Because chances are you're going to erase the right answer and put the wrong one. And you're laughing because it happened to you, right? Yes, I know. It happened to me too. So that's why I'm telling you, trust your gut feeling and go with it. Don't change it last minute. Yeah. And then now look at the 4 options and choose the best one. Most of the times, there's always going to be one that sounds better than the other. Trust your gut feeling and go with it. Now, if you are not very sure about either or, make an educated guess. Make an educated guess and go with it. There's no more that you can do about it. Yeah? So let's go ahead and practice. Here we have hunting of dinosaurs. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Let's read the complete text first, and then we're going to see the options, okay? Or maybe I'm going to send, like I did yesterday, I did a screen capture of, the, yes, here, let me share it really fast. And then I shared it in WhatsApp group. I don't know if you saw it yesterday, that I did the same thing for the genealogy activity that we did with the first group yesterday. And I did the same. I I made a screenshot so that way you can look at the questions and look at the answers at the same time. Yeah. If you are on your device, you can look at it as well. Or I can send you the screenshots and you can look at it. Yeah. Whatever works best for you. I hadn't opened my WhatsApp web here, but so give me a few seconds and I'm going to send it to the group. Okay. Okay. All right, done. A ver, here we go. Um, Here are some. I already shared the first one. And then I'm going to now share the answers. And I would like for you to take a few minutes, look at the options, look at the exercise, and see how you can do it. Yeah. All right, Jonathan, I send it, and I am also going to share it with you. I'm going to share the actual text.
Yeah.
And look at it.
No, that
Yeah.
was exactly I was gonna ask you to do.
Yes. Yes, so that you can have both of them open at the same time. There you go. So there, I'm going to give you about 8 minutes so that you can do this exercise. If you finish before then, just let me know I'm finished so that we can check the answers, okay?
Yes, miss.
All right, that was fast. Awesome. Okay, so let's check our answers. In fact, what did you put for number 1?
Turned.
It found out to belong to a dinosaur. Here are the correct answers. Let me show you. The correct answers are C, turned, 2, gathered, 3, conditions, 4, exposed, 5, remains, 6, donated, C, chance, and A, disapprove. So you can check your answers and see if you made them all correct. How did you do, Jonathan?
The last two ones were different for me.
Which one did you get for number 7 and 8, you mean?
7 and 8, yeah, they were different.
What do you mean
I
different?
sent my answers in this chat box, like in WhatsApp.
Oh, in the WhatsApp. Okay. Let me see. Okay, what do you put for number 7? The tourists may not stand much
Possibility.
possibility of discovering an entire skeleton. Much possibility of, okay? And the correct answer was chance. Okay. But they're still very enthusiastic. The beige family often allow them to keep whatever they find, although some scientists
Yo
disapprove.
puse prohibit, yeah, y la respuesta correcta es disapprove. Yo puse prohibit.
Uh-huh. Prohibit of, that will not be right. So that's for that reason, prohibit is not okay.
Y es prohibit to, ¿verdad? Prohibit to, y no es prohibit of.
Exactly. You said you are prohibited from.
From prohibited.
You're prohibited from doing this. Mhm. Yes. So yes, here it's like, and I remember that you mentioned that the prepositions, those are, yeah, we need to practice those. And in that vocabulary and grammar in use book, there's some resources there that you can practice for that. But we are going to look into that as well in here. Okay, well, 5 out of 8, not bad at all, actually. Okay, so very, very good. Very good for today. Okay, Jonathan, I don't want to go any further, especially because it's only one person today, but they can also catch up next class. Starting next week, we're going to have classes Mondays and Wednesdays. Yes, I'm sorry. For this group is going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm sorry, my bad. I forgot. This is Tuesdays and Thursdays. I have people in this group that are more advanced, that scored between high B1s and B2s in the placement test, so that I can go faster with this group, or I can go on to more practice than staying behind explaining the grammars or stuff like that, as long as everybody's okay with that, and as long as everybody's catching up. Yes, if I see that someone is falling behind, of course I'm going to help them out, or we can even see if it's we can exchange groups. So we will see how it works. Yes, but that's what I'm expecting in this group. So we're gonna have classes Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then Fridays we are normally not going to meet on Zoom sessions, but we are going to have an activity an activity, an asynchronous activity that you will have to do on your own or that you will have to turn in on Aula Virtual. We will see how it turns out, but it will be something that does not require us to meet in sessions, in Zoom sessions. So that's what I'm being planning to doing starting next week. So I'm very much looking forward to it, and I hope that everybody is as excited as I am for this. Hopefully everything comes out as I expected. Okay, so we're going to stop here. Have a wonderful long weekend. Enjoy your holiday tomorrow, and I will see you next Tuesday, okay?
Okay, see you. Having a very good night,
Thank you, Jonathan.
holiday.
Same to you and yours, okay? Have a wonderful rest of Thursday and weekend. Bye-bye.